Hello, my name is Colby Sharp. I am a fifth grade teacher, and today I want to tell you about some of the books that I'm excited to read this fall. So I have 10 books that I'm excited to read here as we wrap up and kind of finish out the year of 2021 reading. And I am so excited to read these 10 books. And I promise you that these 10 books will not be the next 10 books that I read. Other books will find their way into the stack. Some of these books will find their way out of the stack. I have no idea. I usually know the book I'm reading and the book I'm reading next, and then the rest of the list kind of changes a lot. And I'm always sharing my to-read list, process, and how I add books, how I take books off with my fifth graders, because it's a pretty important reading skill to be thinking about what you're reading and to enjoy the book you're reading, but also to be thinking about what's next. So let's start off with actually the first of the 10 books that I'm reading, because this is a book that I'm actually reading right now. Like, I'm going to go home tonight and hopefully get a chance to read a bunch of this, because I'm totally digging this book. I'm on page 37. Yusuf Azim is not a hero. I think that's how you say his name. And it's so good so far. So it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. This is a boy who lives in Texas and learning a lot about his family and how they have been affected by the terrorist attacks in terms of how people treat them. And it's not cool. So really digging it, loving it so far, not super far in, but just excited to dive in and see where it goes, because, you know, it looks so good. Really quick, please, at some point while you're watching this video, let me know in the comments below which books are on your to-read list, because I need to know that, because maybe then I can add more books to my to-read list and make it grow till it touches the ceiling. All right, next up is, this is an advanced reader's copy that Little Brown sent me. It's called Borders. And Which Side Are You On? A powerful graphic novel about a family caught between nations. And this is the advanced copy, so only like the first handful of pages are in color. So I'm gonna buy the final copy, because I don't want to read it without the color pictures. But I really want to read this book. It looks really interesting. And so it just says, Borders is a masterfully told story about a boy and his mother whose road trip from Alberta to Salt Lake City is thwarted at the border when they identify their citizenship as Blackfoot. Can't wait to read it. Can't wait to experience this book. So I need to buy it like right now. As soon as I get off this call, I need to go buy it so that I can get it and read it, finish it. I have a couple nonfiction books. Books 3 and 4 are both nonfiction. First, Tracy Baptiste, African Icons, 10 People Who Shaped History. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this book from some of my friends online, and it just looks really informative and awesome. So Tracy Baptiste is really awesome. You probably read her book, The Jumbies, but I'm excited to read this and to learn more about these 10 people. I wonder if I know any of them. I doubt it. I need to learn. So excited to be able to learn with this. So thanks for making that book, Tracy. Next up, Candace Fleming, one of the great nonfiction writers of our time, The Curse of the Mummy. Doesn't it look good? So she's won the Cybert Honor and all kinds of awards for her writing. But this just looks like a really informative and fascinating book. I always was interested in things like mummies and that kind of stuff when I was a kid. King Tut. So maybe we can learn some things about him in this book. Really excited to dig in and get a chance to learn some things. I just feel like I need to learn some stuff. So a couple of nonfiction books in there. And then this one, I don't know anything about it, but I just love this cover. Partly Cloudy by Tanita S. Davis. She's the author of the award-winning book Mare's War, which I don't know that book either. So I don't know, the cover just drew me in. I just had to check it out. So I don't know anything about it. I'm probably not even going to read this part here or this part, because I just want to know more. I just want to like experience it knowing nothing. It's really fun. Like sometimes we learn all these things about books before we read them. And sometimes I just want to get a book and read the whole thing and not know anything. Like that's a different and fun way to experience a book. So Partly Cloudy. I'll put a list of all these books down in the description of this video so that you don't have to write them down if they all look good. You can just look back later. Next up is this graphic novel, Treasure in the Lake. It just looks so interesting and fascinating, and it just looked like one that's going to grip my fifth graders. So I wanted to read it as soon as possible. I don't really know anything about it, but it just looks like it has that like Zeta amulet, adventure, high-low, out of this world graphic novel that the kids love these. So I'm excited to read this one. Look at that. Just look at that art. Excited to read it. Next up, Clarice the Brave, Lisa McMahon. I love her Unwanted books. And she's got a book here with this little mouse. And I want to get to know the mouse. I don't often do well with books where animals are the main characters and they talk to each other. That's not usually my cup of tea, I guess. But I trust Lisa and her work and want to give this a shot. And I don't know, I've also been hearing lots of good things from my friends about this one. It helps when you have so many amazing friends that are readers, because then you can just read the books they tell you to read and you're set. So excited to dig in and to read this one as soon as possible. Next, I guess the next two books are also animal fantasy thingies books. Willow Dean, Katherine Applegate. She's One Only Ivan's like my favorite book ever. Definitely top 3. So I have to read everything she writes, and I'm excited to dive into Willow Dean. I know that Katherine has a love and passion for the planet, and that is something we share together. So I'm excited to read this and to see what I take away. I'm really excited. And I know I need to get this into my classroom because I have a lot of Katherine Applegate fans, and they're going to want to read that. So I got to hustle on that. Next up, Egg Marks the Spot by Amy Timberlake. The first one was really funny. I don't remember what it was called, but it has these same characters. And they're just funny. I especially just love their interaction between each other. They're like the odd couple, kind of. They're just so interesting, and it's written so witty and smart and fun. So excited to spend some more time with Skunk and Badger, because I don't know, just something special about those two main character animals from children's books, right? Elephant and Piggy, Frog and Toad, all kinds of great ones. So Egg Marks the Spot, excited. And then one picture book. Why not? Isn't this beautiful? The Story of Nina Simone. Tracy and Todd, Christian Robinson. And usually I wouldn't put a picture book on like my to-read pile, but there's a lot of words in it. So I want to make sure that I have a time and a place where I have the time to soak it up, and it's a little bit longer, soak it up and not be rushed through it. So these are the 10 books that I am excited to read. I hope maybe you found one or two that you want to add to your to-read list. Be sure to let me know once again in the comments if you want to read any of these, or if there are other books that are on your to-read list that maybe I should read, because I don't have enough to read, obviously. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Colby Sharp. I hope you have an awesome-tastic day.